summertime here in Denver can get very warm, the winters always get very cold. This year in particular, kind of the mid-June timeframe, 2021, has been exceptionally warm. We've seen peaks in Texas, we've seen peaks on the East Coast, peaks here in Denver, peaks on realistically global scale. What occurs in those instances is a peak usage from consumers. They need to cool their homes or their businesses, or they need to heat their homes or businesses, depending on the time of the year. And when that occurs, some of the utilities aren't able to keep up. The Alliance Center itself, we're an organization that strives to allow sustainability to be easier. We work on the convening, we work on the collaborating, whether it's with our tenants or with an outside organization. That's what we work the hardest towards. So it's something that is important to us to try and figure out a way to combat, try to have a resource that when power is at a high, when it's 100 degrees outside, we are able to do something about that. Vehicle to building, vehicle to grid are technologies that were intriguing to us. Instead of this technology providing electricity only to the vehicle, specifically the batteries, can provide power to a building or to a home. And there's a lot of benefits to that. There's a lot of opportunities to utilize that energy on high electricity days where you have a demand event. There's opportunities to try and use it for resiliency whenever there's a power outage. So went through the contracting process and now have a Fermata charger in our parking lot. This is a collaboration with multiple different parties. We have the Alliance Center, we have Colorado CarShare, we have Fermata, we have Colorado Smart Cities Alliance as all partners in the project. Colorado CarShare manages the vehicle when the Alliance Center needs it for a demand event, for electricity purposes. I personally reserve it. I go through realistically the weather, what the forecast looks like for the next week or two, work with Fermata to identify when we need to reserve the vehicle, and I reserve it just like I'm a member of Colorado CarShare. We're hoping that in the future that requires less hands-on. We look at sustainability across multiple different lenses. The social equity of things, whether or not something is good for the environment. This project definitely has that piece of it. The combination of Colorado CarShare provides a social aspect of it where it's generally pretty commonly understood amongst those that are familiar with the industry that EVs are cheaper than a traditional internal combustion engine. Then you can also utilize the vehicle in the event of some sort of power outage for resiliency. For a customer that doesn't have power for their home or for their building, that vehicle or groups of vehicles could be used to provide a resource to community members or building occupants or your home in case it's very hot outside or very cold outside. There's also opportunities to use the same technology with buses or with much larger fleets that can do what Fermata Energy is doing on a much larger scale, where it really is a resource. The Alliance Center is all about doing unique because we want to push markets forward. The opportunity to go vehicle to building or vehicle to grid is a new technology that's certainly causing ripples within utilities. And we're hoping that this continues to go in that direction.